My last video, I gave 5 key things that I feel landlords get wrong, right? They get these 5 things wrong and they blame Section 8 tenants, right? So in this video, I'm going to start breaking down one of those, right? And the one I want to talk about specifically is when you buy a home too big. Okay. So now, if you inherited a home or this is your old home and you have to, make it a rental, I mean, it's nothing you can do at that point. But if you're starting from scratch, like I did, and then many of my students and mentees do, and they say, Moses, well, what type of home should I get? Right. It's definitely got to be in the right location, but getting it at the right size makes so much sense. Okay. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. And I'm going to show you, right, how it doesn't matter, right? As long as it has the number of bedrooms and it's in a certain location, it's the same rent. So why get a home that's double the size if you're getting the same rent? Okay. So let's do this. Let me share my screen and I'm going to show you because I can show you better than I can tell you, right? So the first thing we want to do, sorry about that. Let me change this back. And let me go ahead and add my tab and we'll take it from there. All right. So the first tab I want to show you is this one. Okay. So you're able to see me. Perfect. So I want to break down what this is, right? So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like the video and subscribe. But if you guys are like my loyal fans that's been watching me, you already know that I primarily invest in Cleveland, Ohio, right? And in Cleveland, Ohio, the county is called Cuyahoga County. And if you're from Cleveland and I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. Just put the pronunciation in the comments for me. But it's I believe it's Cuyahoga County, right? So what you do is you go to the Cuyahoga Metro Housing Authority. So if you whatever county that you live in, you would type the county name and then you would put like fair market rents or you would put rent determination. Okay. So in this case right here, once you get on the website, it gives you a list of a drop down, right? And from there, you would go ahead and just select what zip code that you're looking to invest in. So I'm going to use the example of a zip code that I invest in. It's 44137, and that is Maple Heights, Ohio. It's a suburb of Cleveland on the east side. Okay. So what they do is they give you the payment standard. And the payment standard is not necessarily what you would get in rent. It is simply the most that they would actually award a voucher recipient. So if someone has a 3-bedroom voucher, the most that they could pay in totality, helping them with utilities and so forth, is $21.68. So if you're a landlord and you say, hey, my tenant doesn't have to pay any utilities, it's a good chance you can get $21.68, right? Or close to it. But if you're like me and you pay some utilities, then you're not going to get $21.68. Or you can be like, I don't want to pay no utilities. Then you're definitely not getting anywhere close to $21.68, right? So what I do is I pay water, sewer. That's what I pay, right? Electric and gas, I let my tenant pay for. And the math that I normally use to get me to what's a fair rent amount is that I simply take the payment standard and I multiply that by 0.85. So 2168. Let me do the quick math here. Oh, let me pull up the calculator. So let's just say I'm looking for a 3-bedroom. Okay. So 2168 times 0.85, it'd be roughly $1,842.80. So let's just even say, to be safe, that I can get a 3-bedroom in zip code 44137 for $1,800 a month. Okay. So that's how I go shopping. I now know a 3 bedroom in 44137 is $1,800 a month. Okay. Where do you see here that it says, oh, it has to be 3 bedrooms at 3,000 square feet, or it has to be 3 bedrooms with a granite countertop, or it has to be 3 bedrooms with a 2 car garage? It doesn't say that. It does not say that. So, does that mean you don't get those things at the right price? No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that if you're looking to get a rental for the long term, the only thing that matters is location and the number of bedrooms. That is it. Okay. So now that we know that, we go shopping. Okay. So let me stop sharing my screen for a moment and come back just to me. So now that we know that 44137 is my market or my zip code of choice, I'm looking for a 3 bedroom house. I can get $1,800. Okay. For me, I'll give you a little, sneak peek into what I normally do, but I strongly encourage you to get my lifetime course so you can actually fully understand it. Right. So the moment you know you have $1,800, my goal is to get a mortgage that is roughly about $900 a month. Now, I get it. At the time of this video, interest rates are still higher than what it have been, right? But I would say that I would want my rent to be at least 1.5 times my mortgage, right? I want my rent to be 1.5 times. So if 1,800 is the rent I can get, I would probably want a mortgage no more than 1,250. So even if you say $1,200 just to be safe, right? That would mean if I collect $1,800, yeah, actually that's 1.5. I'm doing the math, right? So a $1,200 mortgage would mean that when I collect the $1,800, I can pay my mortgage in a halftime. So that's 1,200 plus 600. So the goal would be $900 a month, but the max would be $1,200 a month, right? And then you reverse engineer that to say, okay, well, based off a $1,200 mortgage, what's the most I can afford with 20% down? And you kind of go from there. But that's a bigger video. We're not going to go into that, right? That is a full training that I would love to help you out with. Look in the description in the video, find the course. Everything you need is there. Or if you want one-on-one coaching, find the link there. I can help you out. But conceptually, I wanted you to understand that. You know your rent, $1,800. You preferably would like to divide that by 2 and have a mortgage that would be 900, but you can go up to 1.5. That would be my preference. I wouldn't go beyond that unless you're like in a really strong appreciation market where the property value just is going nuts, right? But that's not my type of investing. I'm a cash flow investor. So now we're going to go shopping. Okay. We're going to go shopping and try to find a home. All right. So I'm on Zillow and we're looking for 44137. We want a 3 bedroom, at least. Let's see. Can you do exact match? Yeah, exact match. We want a 3 bedroom, at least 1 bath. We want it to be a house. And we want to hit search. Do you have to save search now? Okay. All right, cool. So let's just say highest to lowest. All right. Well, no, you definitely don't want that. Let's go to lowest to highest. All right. So currently the lowest home right now is this one right here for 99,000. This home is 2,151 square feet. Okay. Now, yikes. Okay, this is a pretty big house for that amount of money. So my guess here, if we cycle through these pictures, it's probably going to be some work, but I could be wrong. All right, so let's see the front. Looks okay. The inside. Let me go back here. You can see the floors are definitely mismatched. Um, Mostly cosmetic. Yeah, no, definitely not bad. Yeah, I'm not a fan of these floors, but um, yeah, recycling through here. Yeah, okay. Not the best, but again, you don't these things that I'm saying about, from a rental standpoint, it's more than acceptable. The main thing is that it is safe. As long as it's safe, that's all that matters. If it's just a cosmetic, oh, I don't like this color, I don't like this design. I mean, that's all, relative. They might come in there and say, oh, I love those floors. So that preference shouldn't stop you from buying a house. This is okay. So they have an attic that's unfinished, so someone could, finish that out as well. Um, I don't think this house is 2,100 square feet. I'm very familiar with this area. I think what they did is included that basement into that. Okay, because this looks more in line from the sizing of the house to what I normally buy. This is probably more of a 1,200, 1,300 true square footage house, which would be perfect, right? So honestly, looking at this on the surface, if I was actively buying right now, I would want to know what's going on. So if you're watching this and this home is available, my initial stamp uh, is a go, to just at least explore what's going on. Another thing that I always do, if you're familiar with my channel or my content, is that I actually like going to Zillow. Not Zillow, Google Maps. So, well, actually, let's go up here. So it was listed for sale just 5 days ago from the time of this video. So just 5 days ago. Um, and the last time they tried to sell it for 55,000 back in 2019, but that was so long ago. The market has changed so dramatic. So that's a good sign too. So that it's not like it's been on the market and it's changed hands from seller to seller or something like that. So yeah, I mean honestly, this would be one I would look into. But what I wanted to show you was this street view. This is very important, especially if you're an out-of-town investor. Just simply go to Google Maps, do a street view, virtually walk the neighborhood, and I think that'll tell you a lot about the property. But this looks like a nice, decent street for sure. Okay. And they only want 100,000. And in this market right now, most people are not getting what they want. So chances are, if this turns out, unless it's something, going on crazy with it, I think 100,000 would be pretty awesome for this house, but you probably can get it for even less. Okay. All right. Well, going back to the topic of the video, as far as square footage, um, let's look at this one, for example. Well, actually, this one. This is more in line. This one is $120,000 right here, right? Again, probably too high. They put some fresh siding on it or whatever. I wouldn't pay 120 for a rental in this area for me, right? But the one thing I want to tell you is that you see the square footage. The square footage is 1113. Okay, let's just imagine, for the sake of this video, okay, that the home we looked at prior to this that said 2,400 square feet, 2,100 square feet. Let's say that the prices were reversed. Okay, let's just say this one was 99,000 and the other one was 100, and the other one was 120,000, right? They are in the same exact zip code, which is 44137. And this one is 1,100 square feet, and the other home is over 2,000 square feet. They both look like decent properties, um, everything, right? But which one would you buy? Okay. The one you should target is the one that is smaller. Okay. As long as the one that is smaller is functional and that the cost per square feet add up, that one will give you the best ROI every day. Because I guarantee you, I've been doing Section 8 investing for a long time now. Okay. Um, what happens is I've never had a Section 8 tenant, never even had any rental tenant, to be honest with you, because I didn't start out at Section 8, you know. I never had any tenant say, oh, this place too small. Okay. That's just not top of mind for most tenants, right? They will look at the pictures, they're familiar with the neighborhood, and you have to do your due diligence on the front end to know, like, I'm not just going to buy like a box. It has to be a functional place. You know, when you come in, is it easy access to the kitchen? Does the living room area make sense? Is it closet space? Is it even if it's 3 bedrooms, is there one bedroom that's bigger than the others where the parent can live in? You know what I'm saying? Like, think through that. Is there easy access to a backyard? Is it easy access to parking, whether it's a garage or not? Think through that. I'm not telling you to buy a box. I'm telling you that if all things add up, don't pay extra for a home that has double or 40% more feet, because all it's going to do, well, number one, it's not going to give you more rent. I proved that to you before we start looking, because the rent is only determined by the zip code and number of bedrooms. That's it. So your ROI automatically is going to be better, because a home that is smaller should be cheaper. Okay? It should be cheaper. Then if you have to do work, in most homes, you have to do work. I can't think of a home that I have that I've never had to do work in. And the determination of the work is typically measured by square footage. It's, hey, Moses, you need new floors. Hey, Moses, you need to paint. What do they say? Oh, let me measure how much feet do you have? So why put yourself in the predicament that your quotes are going to be higher? You're not going to get any additional rent. You're going to have to maintain the property even more stringent because it's more space. When your tenants move out, you're going to have more chances of damage. It just doesn't make sense. So again, unless you inherited a property or you have a home that you used to have and you're just like, hey, I just need to rent it, then you can't, it is what it is. But if you're starting from scratch, like 85% of the people I deal with, go into it knowing that you're buying a functional home where square footage needs to be minimal, productive, functional. That's it. Okay. So hopefully that makes sense for you. That was just an easy example, even though we had to reverse the listings. But I want you to have the mindset to know it's not about how big it is. It's not about how big it is. We're not flippers. If you was flipping the house, yes, that makes sense. So another bonus tip is you only need one bathroom. Stop trying to get 2 bathrooms. Don't worry about that. As long as I have one bathroom, you're good. Not even a half. One bathroom. 3 bedroom, 1 bath is the perfect size for a rental. All right. So thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, like the video, share the video, comment. Again, I cannot get my message out there unless you guys help me share this. I'm going hard on this channel now. I hope you guys love the content. I really need your help. So just take a brief moment and just smash that like button. And I would appreciate it so much. See you on the next video. Talk to you soon. Also, I'm thinking about going live. So if you want me to start going live, put it in the comments and I'll make it happen. Talk to you soon. Bye.